Let me walk to the banks of the river of love, where the current runs deep, baptized in the one, where there's no separation and the light is always safe, honoring all our differences, and love will set us free. Oh, Mother, Father, God, there's a healing going on. Mother, Father, God, there's a healing going on. Mother, Father, God, there's a healing going on. I said, oh, you rock my soul. I said, oh, you rock my soul. I see the blessings of the past. It's time to requalify. Let's not forget, but learn to forgive. God knows we gotta try. It's my responsibility to heal the wounds in me. Compassion, faith, and hope, and love, and truth will set us free. Oh, Mother, Father, God, there's a healing going on. Mother, Father, God, there's a healing going on. Mother, Father, God, there's a healing going on. I said, oh, you rock my soul. I said, oh, you rock my soul. Oh, Lord, I said, Mother, Father, God, there's a healing going on. Mother, Father, God, there's a healing going on. Mother, Father, God, there's a healing going on. I said, oh, you rock my soul. Oh, you rock my soul. I said, oh, you rock my soul.
Greetings, everyone. I'm Reverend Deborah Johnson, and welcome to Light Ministries' first service on the last Sunday of 2020. Thank you to my brother from another mother, Jamie Lula, for that exquisite song, There's a Healing Going On, so appropriate for these times. Woo! Can you believe it? It is the end of 2020. You know, when we talk about history, there are sometimes we speak of a whole era, like the Renaissance, or a decade, like the 60s. 2020 is going to get its own little category of all by itself. But we're here, and welcome to our service. I want to say up front that it's a little different today. We're starting something new. It just seems apropos as we're closing out in 2020 and going into 2021 that we congregate, that we see each other, that we hear each other, that we connect. There's so much Zoom going on. There's so many people that are talking at us, finding new ways to build virtual community. Well, we want to put the commune back in community. So starting today, while this is going on and streaming live on Facebook and our website and various other platforms, there's also a Zoom watch party going on. So I want to say hey to everybody in the Zoom watch party. And you can take a look anytime you want. You can join in anytime you want. They are screen sharing what's going on now from the live streaming in the Zoom. And as soon as we complete this, as soon as we complete our message, we're going to get our praise on. Our musical inspiration for today is Sarah Ledbetter. And she is going to provide our musical, excuse me, Sarah Fishleader, and she's going to provide our musical inspiration. You can join in at any particular time that you want to. And what's great about this new virtual format that we have is that you're going to have a chance to really talk to each other. You're going to have a chance to communicate, to do breakout rooms, to share, to do virtual meet and greet, as well as just share a little bit about what it is that you got out of the service, and be able to fully engage and to talk to one another. We'll have our community times. It's going to be absolutely wonderful. So anytime you want to jump into that, please feel free to do that. What's even more exciting is that you are going to have a chance to do an encore. An encore, yes. In addition to your being able to look at this now, you're also going to be able to see it again. There's going to be a second encore service. So what you're seeing right now and the music is going to show again at 4 p.m. Pacific time, but there'll be a brand new virtual opportunity to participate. So the links are wherever it is that you are, wherever you're listening to this, there'll be an AM link and there'll be an encore link. And I hope to be able to see you there. I'm going to be at both services for the next couple of Sundays. I'm looking absolutely forward to it. So, just getting through a few little technical things here as we're getting real fancy these days. Our theme, our theme this month has been embrace. Embrace. And my topic today is embracing our evolutionary greatness. Embracing our evolutionary greatness. We always do activations, and I'm just going to share with you what these week's activations are. In the Zoom watch party right after this message, we'll say them together and really engage them. But the activations are always an opportunity for us to really settle in and have something vibrate within us. So our activations for this particular message and for this week, embracing our evolutionary greatness. We welcome the next leg of our collective journey. We are forever creating our future by the choices that we make today. Encoded within us are seeds of greatness. We choose to evolve into our highest potential. We don't need disasters to give us permission to be generous and compassionate. Drama is optional. We unshackle our capacity to care. We unleash our willingness to contribute. We reignite the fire burning in our collective souls. We are proud of the legacy we leave. The next 7 generations are blessed by who we become today. We embrace our evolutionary greatness, simply awaiting our embrace. 2020. So much has been going on. You've got the global COVID pandemic. There's everything that's happening in the economy. There's the social justice unrest. There's whatever it is that's going on with the election that keeps going. Kids not being in school, businesses struggling. And yet we're finding more and more creative ways to connect. We're finding more ways to be together. We're finding more ways to be resilient. I've told many people that throughout this time, it seems like almost all of my plans have been absolutely shattered. And there's this peculiar way in which my dreams are starting to come true. Many things that were sitting on the back burner, really not getting my attention, well, it's in the forefront of the attention now. As we close out this year in 2020, I want you to know that everything that happens, absolutely everything that happens for a reason. It happens for a reason. That the life that we live is a narrative. Our experience isn't so much what happens. It's how we name what it is that's happened. We get to choose whether what's going on makes us better or makes us bitter. Embracing our evolutionary greatness. You know, when something is evolutionary, it's something that is evolving. That's what it means. And when something is evolving, it's going through a stage of transformation. But this stage of transformation isn't just idle change. It's destiny. Let that sink in for a moment. When something is going through its evolutionary changes, it is unfolding into whatever is its next stage. Nothing stays the same. Everything is always in motion. And just as it is with your individual life, that you can't be the same person that you were last year or the year before, 10 years, 15 years before that. So it is with us in the collective. We just can't be the same people that we used to be. When we talk about embracing, sometimes I think that we misunderstand what we're talking about. You hear me say all the time that the only thing that ever needs to be healed is just a sense of separation. That's all. It's just a sense of separation. We can never actually be separate. It's just the sense of separation. And one of those things that helps us heal this sense of separation is embrace. See, you can't separate in particular. Listen to what I'm saying. We can't do anything in the particular. Everything is energy. So once you start separating from this one particular person, you can't just separate from one particular person. That energy of separation starts to pervade through other areas of your life. And what would it take for you to separate from this person? You have to withdraw. You have to pull your energy back. We are made here to be, like it says in scripture, the sun that makes its light shine on the just and the unjust. Don't let who you are, the greatness of who you are, go up and down by what other people are doing. Something's happening. I know you can feel it. We can't control it. No one person can control it. We're all in it. We're all a part of it. And although we can't control it, we all help to shape it. We all help to make it. Listen to what I'm saying, that each of us is an active agent. Each of us is an active participant in this thing called life. And the choices that we make today shape what happens tomorrow. And on and on and on. The things that we do today have an influence at least 7 generations from now. It's over a century. Think about that. The choices that you make today have an impact at least 7 generations. So I'm here in the family home now that I grew up in. The family's been here almost 65 years. Came right about the time that I was born, like right after I was born. And I knew my father's grandmother. I knew my father's grandmother, my great-grandmother. She lived next door to him and basically kind of raised him. So my great-grandmother, Bertha Johnson, lived with these 2 sisters of hers. When she finally went to a convalescent home, she actually lived with a younger brother too. So it was these 3 sisters, Bertha, Ida, and Rosa. They were quite the pair. I mean, they were quite the trio. So these 3 were born like at the end of the 1800s. They were born in Reconstruction. Okay. So I knew my great-grandmother. I knew her. That's 4 generations above me. But she knew her grandmother. That's 7 generations above. So the things my great-grandmother learned from her grandmother are influencing me today. And such it is with our lives. Isn't that extraordinary? That the decisions that we make, the things that we say, the ideas that we embrace are going to impact 7 generations from now. When we talk about embrace, I'm not saying that you've got to like it. What I'm saying is that when you embrace it, you don't separate from it. There are things that have happened in your life. Maybe you've had disappointments. Maybe you've had relationships that really went south. Maybe you've been divorced. Maybe you've had bankruptcies. Maybe you've been incarcerated. Maybe you've had certain kind of illnesses. There could be any numbers of things, addictions, things that have gone on in your life. And if you are ashamed of those things, and if you're running from those things, and you're trying to hide from those things, then the energy of those things are going to sabotage your life. I'm not saying that you have to like them, but if you just embrace it as part of your life experience, then there are blessings in there that you can tap into that will not only uplift and rejuvenate your life, but that will help to inspire somebody else's life. It's not the specifics that you are embracing. It's your journey that you are embracing. And when you don't want to embrace the addiction part of your life, then you're not embracing the totality of you and your journey. I learned this so well in terms of our evolutionary greatness and consciousness over these past few years. The current administration that is leaving, I personally have found quite challenging. And although this is not an administration that I would want to see continue, because of what's happened in this administration, I have embraced this nation at a deeper level. I have embraced democracy at a deeper level. If we embrace our evolutionary greatness, then in the midst of every single thing, whether we like it or not, in the midst of it, we are growing, we are healing, and we are evolving. Perhaps you're in a difficult relationship in child rearing right now. Could be anything. Maybe you're having some teenage stuff going on with your teenagers. Maybe you're having some stuff going on with your parents. You could be that sandwich generation where you've got people above you, people below you. Who knows? Maybe you're a younger person who's looking at this right now and you're having a problem with your parents. If we move beyond the specifics of the drama if we move beyond the particular relationships that we may be in with them, and if we just embrace each other as spiritual travelers along the journey, you will get so much more out of whatever it is that's going on. This is what I had to do with this as a nation. I had to get out of the particulars of what was going on in the White House. And I had to embrace myself as a citizen. I had to embrace each other as citizens. And what an extraordinary thing that we just did last month, even in the midst of COVID. We had more people who have ever voted in US history. Because somehow or another, we were all embracing something about ourselves. Soak that in for a moment. What I know is that I may not always like the particulars of everything that's gone on. But whatever it is has helped to make me me. When I do spiritual counseling with people, I notice that there's something very consistent. Even though people may not like the circumstances and the conditions that have happened in their life, almost all of them would not want to go back to who they used to be. The woman who was deserted by her husband, left with 3 children 10 years ago, she could still be angry and she could still be bitter at her lot, feeling abandoned and rejected. But if I were to ask that woman, would you want to be the woman that you were before your husband walked out? There's a good chance she'd say no. Because in the meantime, she's grown. In the meantime, she has found strength, even in the midst of adversity. In the meantime, she's come to realize who she is, and that she is stronger and more powerful and more capable than anything that she thought previously that she could do, or previously who she could be. This is happening with us collectively now. Even in the midst of the angst about the economy, even in the midst of the angst about COVID, even in the midst of the angst about social justice and all these other things, we are growing some strength. We are growing some resilience. We are growing some determination. We are growing some creativity. We are growing some compassion. I dare say we are evolving into our greater yet to be. Sometimes the catalysts, sometimes the things that kind of spark us on our way are not necessarily the things that we would like. But if we have the courage to embrace every step along the way, what we will find out is that, in fact, all things are working together for our good. All things are working together for our good. I can't tell you what the future holds. I don't know the particulars of how any of these sagas or how any of these dramas are going to play out. I don't know. But what I do know is that all roads lead to God. That's what I know. That you can find divine on the top of the Himalayan mountains. You can find the divine down in the gutter of hitting the bottom of addiction. There's not more God on the Himalayas than there is down there in the bottom of the gutter. I always say one route is just a little bit more scenic. So you get to choose. You get to choose. My bottom is just higher now. I don't have to go so low. This is my prayer for us as a collective. That let's make our bottom a little higher, so we don't have to go so low. that we don't have to be so much out of alignment before we get that wake-up call. Something is happening now, and it's precious, and it's priceless. It is, as Bruce Lipton says, an evolutionary growth spurt. Just like your kids don't grow evenly year to year to year, well, neither does collective consciousness. We are in the middle of a growth spurt. And if we embrace the extraordinariness of this moment, if we embrace who we are deep within our souls, sons and daughters of the Most High, who have not been given a spirit of fear or timidity, but who've been given the spirit of the Greek dunamis power, pure capacity. We've been given the spirit of agapeo love, unconditional oneness. We have been given the spirit of a sound mind and self-discipline. That's who we are. And I am so excited to see how we're going to evolve and whatever it is that's next. And I invite each and every one of you, as we close out this 2020, to go into it with a graciousness of heart, with pure expectancy of goodness and the greatness of who we are as a species, expectancy beyond any particular expectations. How sweet it is. Let's just seal this with a prayer. As we turn within in this moment, we surrender all. We surrender. The ought tos, the shoulds, the vision boards, the timetables, the agendas, the angst, the worries, the fears, the concerns, we surrender all. And we turn to a power in the universe that is greater than anything that we can possibly imagine. The Lord is our shepherd, and we shall not want. As we breathe into that, we accept our anointing as sons and daughters of the Most High. We call forth in this moment divine order and right action, healing of the body temple, healing of our body politics, healing of our economic body, restoration, rejuvenation, revitalization, a recommitment to our greater yet to be. And we know that divine comes through as all needs met. Divine right housing, divine right employment, divine right relationships, divine right communities and gathering, divine right creative expressions, just divine right everything. We live in the energy of that vibration. We rest in it, we relax in it, we allow it to be. And so it is. So it is. Amen. I invite you once again, if you want to continue, if you want to meet face to face and have some discussions about some of this and be in community and congregation, we've created a virtual congregation. It's happening right now as a Zoom watch party. You can check the link right there. Join in now. We will repeat this at 4 p.m. this afternoon. That's Pacific time. And you can see this message again. There will also be an opportunity to be with a new virtual group, whoever it is that signs up then. So hope to see you earlier, and we can also see you later. Thank you to each and every one of you who has been sending in year-end gifts. It is greatly appreciated. As you know, such a time as this, that nonprofit organizations like the retail market usually thrive and try to catch up some from the things that have been going on in the year. And COVID has been quite a year. So regardless of how much that you give, whether it seems like it's a lot, whether it seems like it's a little, just remember that the giving keeps you an open channel. You keep giving. And we appreciate all the gifts that come to Innerlight. You can go to paypal.me/Light Ministries or check any of the links that you have on your screens. What an extraordinary year this has been, 2020. We thank you so much for being with us, for joining us. See you in the Zoom gathering as we take this consciousness and we multiply it. See you soon.